Oh, you changed your icon. You would say, "Raccoon, you're fired."
Yeah, whatever. The link
right.
you put up, when you put the link up there, I get the dog. When I get it emailed, I can use the raccoon. It's on my iPad, so it's kind of wonky.
All right. Either that or Bob would go.
Yeah.
For anyone wondering what that's all about, you'd have to go watch the previous one near the end when Bob comes in. Yeah. Anyways,
Bob doesn't like raccoons. Well, he likes me.
First one in this evening was Sue Me, and her comment makes it very good. Glad I'm on a well. Then Walt Rogers came in. Then Phelan Klein came in. Then this guy over here says he's selling his yacht if the water stops. Troop 1351, Shady Hill Homestead. Tammy made comments. Angels Homestead is in here watching. Did I say Troop 1351? Yeah, okay, I did. Okay, they're saying they got ads finally. Geeky Gardens is here. Back and forth. And Kathy D. Salt and Light is in the house. Little Prepper is here. Pirate is working. Of course, they're trainers.
Jesus.
Diana 2 is here.
Bigfoot's beating the crap out of somebody on behind the scene there.
Rudy, I can't pronounce that last name, of Autism Homestead is in on Tammy's side. Diana 2's over on Tammy's side as well. And Troop 1351 and Walt Rogers have both acknowledged that they are Fortress level members. And that stand is the Caillou.
Now Steve just popped in.
Yeah, Steve's here. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Utah Mike just
froze.
Utah Mike just came in. All right. So tonight's topic, after the water stops, is probably a broad spectrum of possibilities and not too much fear porn, just possibilities. So let me rehydrate. This is my third one today, half gallon. I'm on. I started out doing outside working about 5:30. The staff sergeant left at 5. I came in, changed clothes, went out. It was getting bright enough. I started shoveling compost and dirt around and filling up IBC totes.
Yeah, if the water stops, I'm gonna freeze dry myself and just put a sign on the door that says, "Please add 230 pounds of water when you find it."
If it was me, I'd say please add 145. This way is about 5.5 pounds. Please add 140 pounds of water. That way I'll weigh the same I did as when I got married, 150.
I'm looking to lose a few. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. Yeah. Let's see. Just for all of you guys, this video has been released over on Camp Patton already. Let me give you guys a treat here before we jump into tonight's. And if I can get this. Okay, all right, that's there. So, you're not going to get me talking, but basically.
Yeah, we can hear a little bit down there.
All right. What we did over the last 2 weeks while the staff sergeant was here. Picked out all the swell, added conditioner to it, chipped some of the top of some of it, so we're going to chip this one.
What's with all the solar lanterns?
I got those two there to dig out, change soil, turn it around, add a lot of compost to it. And I got those two as well. So that's what I got planned for today and tomorrow. And those the two down there by the yellow wheelbarrow, I already got those done tonight. I just got the other two to do.
What's with all the solar lights?
That's the walkway lights that used to run across that walkway. Let me see if I can get down to it here and show it to you here. turn there. That walkway there going to the front door, they
Right.
used to line that so people wouldn't trip and fall on the ice and stuff. They could see what they're doing. But since I closed off that front door and have all the arrows tell them to walk underneath the cover and back and go to the back door where they can stay dry while they wait for me to come answer the door. Yeah. But those are going to go. Those are going to go out. Once they do a little more work in the backyard, they'll go out along the back there, down the steps and stuff in back. But yeah. All right. So pull that back and close that. Let's see. High desert here, no water without pumps. Well, we're high desert here too, but fortunately, well, our city water is, we have 4 well pumps for our city water, 2 are backup pumps, and so there's 1 on each well. But we also have the Snake River, and we go about 5 miles, 6 miles upstream, and it's at an elevation where we can open a gate and it just does irrigation water to us in a ditch.
But what happens when the water stops? Come on,
When the water stops,
not what do you have available now?
yeah, I know. So when the water stops, then we go up there and we quit turning it off on us. No, it's everything comes down from the Grand Tetons here. So nature-wise, unless we have a severe one, we'll get into that. We're going to have water here. That's one of the reasons I picked this place. However, Mother Nature is fickle sometimes, and if somebody takes her beer, I'm going to be upset. Yeah. All right, so let's get back to this. All right, so, and in case you're wondering, the center picture here, that's Niagara Falls when they stopped the water on it.
Ah.
I figured that was appropriate. Niagara Falls water stopped? Yeah, anyways. So, warning, danger, Will Robinson. Possible fantasy fear porn Kool-Aid drinking zone ahead. Yeah, then again, maybe not. All right, causes for the water to stop flowing. First of all, we got to look at where's the water flowing from. Like for me, we got the Snake River and we got the underground aquifer. For where the staff sergeant is, we have
the city.
Contra Costa Canal, which pulls off of the delta 38 miles away. But we have Contra Costa Water District takes that canal water and runs it through their treatment plant and pumps it out to us. So if you have a well, you got an underground aquifer. If you're on city water, generally, you're either on a well or river water or canal water or whatever. Hang on. Steve, you don't move here to live in the Tetons. You're here to live at the foot of the Tetons and admire them and go take your 4-wheeler up there in the summertime. And in the wintertime, you get a bunch of people together, you ride snowmobiles up there. And you come back and you hop out of the snow, off the snowmobile, and you sit in front of the nice, warm, toasty fire.
I went skiing there once, not very far from where you're at, and I absolutely loved it. So
Yeah.
you can also ski there. They're beautiful to look at.
Oh, yeah. They're beautiful to hike on, take 4-wheelers, or my favorite, horses.
Ooh.
Yes. Ooh, horses.
Oh. I did Yellowstone on horseback.
Yeah. And there's several companies around here that do that sort of thing. Most notably, here's a plug to another YouTube channel called, I just lost it, Silver Spur Ranch, I believe it is.
Ooh.
And they are 30 miles north and 25 miles west of me. All right, so reasons for to stop for any of those either of those water sources stop flowing. One, man-made. Of course, there's the big T that's out there that's causing trouble, and there are the radicals trying to do something, and of course they're going to try to stop it either by taking down the power grid to take down all the water pumps, B, target the water treatment plants, especially for big cities, or C, and this was one we had problems with back in 20. I think it was early, like January 2004, where somebody we got rumors of someone trying to procure certain things to dump in the water supply. Most of them proved false. The one that proved true, we nailed them before they did it. That's one man made on purpose. The other one is somebody's just ticked off. An employee is ticked off, and they screw up the pump system locally at one particular,
turn the pressure up and blow everybody's valves out.
Yeah, or just short out the pump and let it seize everything up, and or just turn off the valve and run the pump dry till it seizes up. Then there is the greedy people. Oh, we're gonna turn it down, the amount of water available, make everybody ration water and stuff. And I'm going to be the greatest governor of California, and then I'm going to run for president. And Nancy Pelosi's my aunt.
They did that around here. They shut the pressure. They turned the pressure down a little bit, which means my on-demand water heater, which requires a certain flow to fire up because there's no pilot light on it, it's gas. It doesn't fire all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And so there are different things that can be man-made. It could be somebody just trying to subdue the populace to do it, like,
Yeah. What's that, Tammy?
The great Lord Nuisance.
Can you get a pressure tank to bypass that problem, Mark?
No, because I can, but the problem is it's an on-demand. So
Right.
what a pressure tank does is when you shut your water off, the pressure will build in the tank. It has a check valve going back into the system. So when you turn your water on, you have the full pressure, but only for the amount of volume in that pressure tank. So
the other thing you can do is get an inline pressure pump.
Yeah, okay. You can't make pressure if you don't have pressure unless you have a pump. And I'm not putting a pump on this house.
Right.
I just meant you would at least then it would start.
That's possible, but they lowered the pressure enough so when I turn the hot water on, it's full volume. There's just not enough pressure. So I can't build more pressure. Like if it's only got 20 PSI coming through, I can't build it up to 30 to give it that jolt to fire it up. And then it also has a spindle inside. It's an older one where if the flow gets too low, it shuts itself off. So it's a safety.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
So it's really, I love it, but it's a pain in the ass now because they turned our water pressure down like 2 pounds. That's all it took.
Can you make them come out and fix that for you?
No, it's the town. Everybody
got the whole town.
Yep.
Ah.
All right.
Sorry.
CUCD Farmer just came in. And of course, Steve came to the rescue of the malfeasance nephew known as Lord Newsom. Lord Nuisance, not Newsom. Lord Nuisance. All right. So then there could be the political people trying to get more money for their local, be able to increase fees for their local water company. And by lowering the pressure like happened to Mark, they could be doing that on purpose to say, hey, we need more money because we, blah, 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 whatever stream.
Yeah, we built way too many houses in the territory here, and we need more water pressure. So you have to pay more money because we built more houses. We approved it. We gave them the permits, and then the sewer, everything goes up because they charge us for the water coming in, and then they double it up for the water going out.
Right. All right. Then there is man-made neglect. You know,
No maintenance.
the water companies, the water agency for the county or city that's in charge of running the treatment plants, whether it's private or government owned, trying to save money, and they don't keep up on repairs, and all of a sudden the whole system crashes. Now, so far, most of these have been limited to local areas, which is still something to plan for.
Mm-hmm.
And then there can be something more nationwide or worldwide. And I left this in here from last week. The sun caused, any number of things that the sun can cause and happen to the earth can cause different things to happen, where all of a sudden weather patterns change. Now, instead of the lower states having all that rainwater and stuff, all of a sudden they're drier than the Sahara. Wait a minute, the Sahara now is getting 6 feet of water a year. Yeah, the whole weather pattern could change.
Welcome to the normal weather patterns that change over hundreds of years.
Yeah, and it changed in the last 30 days.
Well, then again, China built a huge dam out there. Everybody's like, what are you doing that for? There's nothing there. Oh, it's almost full. Yeah, China knows because they got the history of weather.
Yeah.
We do too, but we don't like to tell anybody about it.
That's what garden journals are for, Mark.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody's going to read my garden journal in 350 years because the sun was here and the sun was there and rain was in this region, but not in this. Now it's over here. Yeah. Sure.
You think everyone that ever made a journal of the weather and their life thought that somebody was going to read it in 300 years? Yet here we are reading some person's journal from whenever on stone tablets.
Yeah, I was going to say it's because it was written in cuneiform text. So
yeah.
Yeah. You tell Mike has a question which I failed to address more directly is cyber attack.
Man-made on
man-made on purpose.
Cyber attack should be totally non-existent by now on water systems because they were supposed to totally isolate themselves from the internet. They may have a computer that's internet set up in the treatment plant, but it's not hooked up to anything in the treatment plant.
Until somebody stupid reads that email and says, you must download this update for your blah, blah.
That doesn't matter.
Computer.
Doesn't
it's
matter.
Not hooked up to the system.
It's not
No. You download the update, put it on a jump drive, and then stick it in your in that computer. It'll do it just as well. They just can't control it.
Well, the thing, IT guys, they're not allowed to do any maintenance to those other ones.
Right. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So yeah, it's every water treatment plant should be isolated now in the United States. Should be.
I'm just going to my buddy Richard's house. He's got a 150-foot deep well. We just put a new pump in it. I just need to bring my generator over to plug it in. You need one hell of a hand pump to suck it up 150 feet.
Not bad at all because that's old school prepper does. She has her well pump and another pipe going in that's hooked up to a hand pump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's
it's
also
only,
the ones that spring.
It's only like a half-inch one going down there. It don't pump a lot of water, but you can pump it up fairly easy because you're only lifting half inch instead of an inch and a half.
Yeah.
All right.
Nature.
The cyber attack fell in the well. Oh no! Now the water's contaminated.
Yeah.
You got my dog barking now because you said something about his water.
All right. Yeah. So there could be the weather pattern changes because sun's got bigger coronal holes and more sunspots popping off and this, that, and the other. The sun affects the Earth's temperature and weather patterns way more than the bought and paid for scientists would like you to believe. But there are a lot more papers coming out proving it. I mean, by a lot, you can talk about like 20 papers a month coming out, proving it. Other things that could cause it from the sun, and that's, of course, I'm surprised Kaylin's not in here because she would have fired off on this one already. And that is the as the magnetic field is, the poles are shifting, and when that goes, that's really going to screw up the weather.
Yeah.
Whether or not the Earth does the 6,000-year tilt.
Don't worry, the whole Earth's going to flip over and spin wildly off into the void of space. We're all going to be dead anyway. So.
Yeah. It doesn't have to just, but basically, they say about every 6,000 years, they've got all the things showing 90 degrees, and then 90 degrees back.
Sure. All within like a week. Yeah.
No, it takes months.
Oh, months? Okay. And you won't feel that when it does it.
Yeah, it'll just be, why are the stars moving?
Yeah, okay.
Why is the sun coming up in a different location? Why is
you laugh about that, but the two volcanic eruptions we've had in Iceland has shifted it. And the people in the Arctic were the first people to notice because they're still navigating by stars, and it's off.
Shifted what? The star?
The pole has shifted just a tiny bit where our axis shifted.
No, I didn't read about that anywhere.
Yeah,
you didn't, did you?
No.
That would be.
But when I look up, I can tell.
Yeah, we can tell here. I've been, 2 years ago, I was talking with several people. The sun used to rise right over that point there on the mountain. Now it's over here.
Yep.
Wait, 6 months later? Yeah, that happened.
No, it hasn't changed. It's still when those volcanoes went off, it shifted the entire planet just slightly, but it's enough that it's perceptible if you are a person who watches the night sky in the early morning sun. And I've noticed here, the sun doesn't come up in the same spot.
That should be all over the science journals right now, because that means everybody that uses a sextant to navigate, that means they're all going to get lost now, because that would have been all over the science journals.
It's not a huge amount that it's good. Like the people in the Arctic that were using their sleds and their sled dogs and navigating by the stars still got to the village they were going to, but they were off by several feet that they have never been before.
Yeah.
It's not a huge difference. It's not like.
But you just said you could notice it by looking up. You can't.
You can if you're. So can they? They're the first people that do some research. They talked about it, just not where it's big deal.
Yeah, at the poles they see changes way sooner than the rest of us will. It's more noticeable up there. So anyways, there are several things nature can cause, weather patterns to change, and they now have documented every 6,000 years going back how many thousands and thousands of years that there has been magnetic reversals on the Earth every 6,000 years, and there has been a 90-degree shift. That's how come we have glaciers right now at the equator, because that spot used to be the North or South Pole, and that happens about every 6,000 years. And the last one, they were calling it the Noah event, until the scientists in China go, no, we're calling it this. We're officially naming it this because we found evidence here in China about it. Anyways, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so it is possible from a bunch of different points of view of what could and couldn't happen. So the question is, what can the world as a whole do to mitigate it? What can countries do to mitigate it? what can states, here in the United States, what can states and counties and stuff mitigate the loss of the water problem for them, and how you can mitigate loss of water for yourself. Before I forget, Uncle Al just hopped into my mind.
Oh, that's bad.
No. He's mentioned this several times on live streams. We've talked about it, and I actually did a live stream on it. Basically, it's an atmospheric harvester.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yes.
They're not huge monsters like these. They're small enough. They can pull out several gallons a day of drinking water from the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's like a giant dehydrator, except there's no electric.
Yeah,
it works even in the deserts. Even in the worst deserts, you can stick those in because of the big fluctuation in temperature change. They actually work better there because they draw that moisture when the temperature changes.
Yep.
Yeah. And so that's one thing everybody can do. Some of the prices are a little more expensive. Communities may have to go together, or neighborhoods, several families may have to go together to get the little bit bigger one, because it's cheaper to get the big one for the amount of water it's producing than it per gallon as for the smaller one. But you get several families going together, like a community, like a CAG or a MAG or something. You can set up and do that. The other thing is get a well, put in a well. Wells are getting more and more expensive, however.
You can drive one yourself. You just finding a well point's really hard these days.
Yeah.
But some states you can't just drive a well yourself.
Well, then they have to know you did it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
True. Yeah, but Idaho and Nevada, you have to have water rights to be able to drill, and it's easier to get water rights here in Idaho than it is in Nevada, because Nevada doesn't want to give up water rights to anybody.
No, because Vegas needs it all.
Because they're selling it.
Yep.
I don't know if they're selling it because they're not putting in wells. They may be, but then when I last checked, they were not trying. They were telling California to go.
Well, but they're selling it to these major cities in their own state.
Oh, in their own state, they may be doing in-state, that. But they're not outsourcing it like.
Yeah. Well, Tammy was talking about driving a well point down like 25 feet and using a small hand pump. If you live in a state that requires a permit for that, I guess it depends on where in your property.
I think every state requires a permit for that.
For a hand pump?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I'm going to stick one in at my property, but I'm kind of in the woods. And
no, you're not. No, you're not.
No,
Mark.
You're not.
I'm not going
to. No, you're not, Mark. No, you're not.
It's premeditated. Don't tell anybody that you're about to do it.
I only have to dig down 4 feet and I hit water.
Yeah.
Well, then in that case, you're just digging a stone well.
That's it. Exactly.
Yeah. There you go. That's different.
Yeah.
Myra Page, welcome. You're just digging a cistern. It's okay.
And John's Life is in the house. So there's there are different ways you can do it. Now, one of the first things when I ever mentioned to somebody about the atmospheric condensers or harvesters, it takes a lot of electricity to do that. They have them that are set up to run on 12 volt, 48 volt
solar. Yeah,
and you just get solar panels, and it doesn't draw that much for what it's doing. It's the new ones. The new ones are very efficient at their power usage.
Yeah, it's like those 12 volt cooler chests you can buy. It uses a piezoelectric current or whatever it is on two metal plates to make it cold, and the other side gets hot. So it's just like a regular AC unit. One side's cold, one side's hot. It's just a heat pump. It's no matter which way you're pumping the heat.
Well, you can make a solar still that requires absolutely no electricity.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, you don't have to. They have them that are self-contained that don't require electricity too, that are on a larger scale. So
if you're near the ocean, doing a solar still to desalinate the water is viable. So, there are options to mitigate the problem before it happens. After it happens, if you haven't done mitigation, you're in recovery, and that's going to get even more expensive because now those atmospheric harvesters are going to be like 10 times as much. And,
Especially with the tariffs. Just kidding.
and there's going to be certain things to just not everything, well stuff is going to get more expensive. They're going to be monitoring who's buying well piping, who's buying the sand drill bits or the impact bits for driving wells and stuff. So
you just need a well point piping of your preferred size and a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
And a lot of brute force, because I've done one. I don't want to ever do another one. I've done one. I don't want to ever drive another
and don't forget the sacrificial cap, because if you don't use that, your threads are shot and you just drove 4 feet plus a sand point into the ground, you'll never get it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are things that they'll start all of a sudden tracking. It's like you try to want to go buy a well point, a hard well point, or a sand point, or whatever type of point you're going to use for drilling. Now you're going to all of a sudden you're going to have to fill out paperwork.
Oh, I bought mine like
that's going to be a restricted item. You just can't buy it down at the hardware store or someplace like you can now.
I actually ordered mine at Lowe's.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Lowe's will not be able to sell it like that.
Right, that was 4.5 years ago. I ordered the hand pump, an extra rebuild kit, and the sand point, and then I went to Granger and picked up all the 1 1/4 piping, and the couplers, and a sacrificial cap. I just haven't used it yet. It's just sitting at the cabin.
And a post hole digger. Don't forget the post hole digger.
Oh, I got an auger for my tractor.
I got the pounder. You're not building muscle that way.
He's going to cheat. He's going to drill a little bit with his auger, and then he's going to.
No, I'm going to drill with the auger. Then I'm putting a piece of 2-inch PVC pipe in there with my pressure washer hose down in there to blow the sediment out to make it even deeper. And I'm just going to drop the sand point in, drive it down about an extra 4 feet, and that's it. I'm done.
Yeah. And Wayne Hunter's in the house. And that's one of the things, there are a lot of things you can do if you think outside the box on this and you think old school. And if you start planning, okay, what can I do now that's cheap to do this? And I'm not going to say who it is, but it was many years ago. In their garage, they had a loft over the garage. They cut a hole up above. They got a concrete saw, drilled cut a 12-inch hole in the floor of the garage. And for the next 6 months, they went down and they did a bunch of work in there, and they went down 112 feet, 15 feet below water table, and put in a well in their garage.
And that way it never freezes.
About it, except for a few of us at work, because they asked us to come over and how to plumb it in. Back when I worked construction, there's one of the guys that worked there. He goes, "Okay, I'm stuck. I'm not exactly sure how I'm supposed to do this." But they had already got it down in. So yeah, there are ways you can hide it, and yeah. So recovery-wise, that way, those are probably the easiest things that you can do to recover is going to be a atmospheric harvester and putting in your own well. The other thing, which is not going to be quite so easy, is where the water used to flow here, it's now flowing 75 miles that way. Crap! Let's get the trailer with a couple of. Let's get gets the trailer with several IBC totes on it and go fill up and haul water back.
Well, you can't do that when it's the underground aquifer that's moved or depleted. The problem we have here is we're bottling water and shipping it all over outside of here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the people around those areas, their underground aquifers are being depleted. And once that's gone, it's gone. You know.
It'd take 100 years to recover.
Yeah. We've also had farmers that have put in deep well irrigation, and a lot of our flowing wells were dried up because they've dropped the aquifer so far.
Harbor Freight Ed, I was there today.
I've gotten like 5 Harbor Freight ads today. I think
Diane,
go there.
I'm not going to post yours up there because they might take offense if I post it. Your commenting the site is just going to stay cool, so we're just going to leave it there. Anybody can read that one if they want to. And Tammy Harder says an ad for Uber, aka Garden State Gardener. Is he still doing that?
Probably.
I know he's driving the bus for his full-time job now.
Yeah, he's still Ubers, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, the you need to think outside the box as far as water, recovery stuff. You also need to think about water storage, because if you got to drive, 50 miles away to where the new river is to pull water to bring back, you're going to want to be able to pull back, have a bunch of tanks at home or whatever to fill up, and then a couple days later go get some more before those tanks are empty, so you can get water before problems come.
Well, depending on the weather conditions, you can always harvest rainwater.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. If you're still getting rainwater and stuff, well, you've seen what I got here. I've got for the gutter on the one side of the shop feeds into a IBC tote. The gutter off the back of the house feeds into IBC tote. I haven't put it on for the 2 gutters on the front of the house yet, but I can do that. Take me about a day to get both those hooked up, and then I can add more IBC totes so I can catch more water in more totes. Mm-hmm. The one off the shop, that sucker is so full it overflowed for a week before I realized it was overflowing because we had rain. And I could have had like 6 IBC totes out there and probably filled them all up during the 1 week.
But only where you live now, because it's illegal to do that in some states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all depends on where you put the tote and where you hide your gutter system with the little 90-degree valve.
I know there is legal action going against states and municipalities that are saying, no, you can't harvest your rainwater.
Yeah.
And they are the government agencies are losing in court.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't want you harvesting because, well, that rain's supposed to go in the ground. Okay. Well, I harvest
it's going to go in the ground just next week.
It's going in my garden, which is going back in the ground. So,
yeah.
That's a money grab. That's all they wanted.
It's a control thing, but I ain't going to go there right now. But it's a control thing.
Yeah. Just be careful what you had in that UBC tote before. Make sure it was something food grade or it's brand spanking new. Like I got one, but it had a well-known pesticide used on farms. So that UBC tote is no good for storing anything.
You can store toilet water in it.
I'm not sure I'd even want to put that through my toilet with that.
God knows when you splash, it might burn your skin. No, I'm just kidding.
It still goes back into the environment after that,
Yeah. Utah requires a free permit.
Yeah, basically you have to register you're doing it so they can keep an eye on you.
Yeah, well, that's soon. There are people are suing to get rid of that too. So we can do what we want to harvest water. We can do it. You can't say crap about it, and people are working on that.
Just don't put your IBC tote right next to the gutter where it's coming out.
Colorado, what other states are special? Yeah. Well, California, some of the counties in California are saying, no, you can't harvest water. That's ours or whatever else. And the only time a certain Gordon Newsom said, no, yes. And because we are in a water shortage, they can collect the water. Well, we need it to go into the environment. And he goes, it is going to go into the environment after they use it.
Yeah.
So, exactly. Now, Oklahoma, like Nuisance did, the only good thing Nuisance did in California was to encourage harvesting of rainwater.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And the only thing you got to worry about then is what's in the sky that's coming down in the rain.
Let's not go there.
I mean, bird poop. That's what I meant, bird poop.
Yeah.
You don't want to drink
Well,
bird
when
poop.
people had cisterns, and like in Bermuda, I love Bermuda. It is gorgeous. All their water, though, is rainwater that they harvest and put into cisterns. And you do have to clean your roof. And you do have problems with bird poop getting into your water. Yeah. You do have to purify it. But, I mean, there are whole entire countries that's all they sustain themselves on. And it can be done. And my grandparents had a cistern. But you didn't go drink out of other people's cisterns because you got used to the bacteria that lived in your own cistern.
Right.
You went to somebody else's house and drank out of their cistern.
Yeah.
You were having...
I don't like to drink out of anybody else's toilet but mine.
Yes, Steve. 1 out of 485,000 instances, he did one that provides for all. For non-potable uses, that's going to be, find the groups that are fighting these guys in your state. Get with them to tell states, counties, and cities, no, the water comes down is your water, not theirs. They can't keep you from using it.
So if I stand outside in the rainstorm with my mouth open and drink it, am I harvesting water? Are you going to give me a fine? Probably.
In Colorado, that's illegal.
You can't go outside in the rain and open your mouth and drink the rainwater.
That you're harvesting their rainwater. Now cut that out, Mark.
Wow.
Yeah.
Make sure you remind me not to move to Colorado. Oh, that's right. I was never planning on moving to Colorado.
No, I'm never moving to Colorado. It's not on my list.
Why is it illegal? Because politicians are trying to control the people, and they forget they're not supposed to control the people. The people control the politicians.
You must buy our specially chemical treated water.
Servants, and they go, no, I'm not a public servant. I'm a public royalty. I know better just because I was elected.
I'm your ruler. No, you're not.
Yeah, you can save a lot of money by having a rain barrel outside your bathroom door and using it to flush your toilets instead of
I can't
buying city water.
I'm on city water. They charge it going in, going out. If they catch me pouring,
but see, it doesn't go in to fill your toilet if you get it from the rainwater.
I get that, but that means I'm putting out more water. Meanwhile, they don't take into account when I use my hose to water the garden. They still charge me for what's going down the drain.
Yeah. Yes, well, I understand that.
They're not charging you by volume what's going down the drain.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
They got a meter on it?
It's a percentage of my inlet. So my water bill coming in is, say, I'll just pick a number, $1 a gallon. God help us. It's $1 a gallon. They charge me 50 cents a gallon for the same water because it probably went down the drain and they have to treat it at the treatment plant. So they go by my water meter in, not a water meter out, just the water meter in. They add a 50% surcharge for treatment.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is they don't know that you're putting rainwater down the toilet.
Yeah. So when you do the rainwater, there's no water coming into the house to fill your toilet.
Trust me, I already talked to my wife about that because the elevation.
I did, Mark. I did it.
Oh no! I understand. The elevation,
I saved a lot of money.
The elevation behind my shed where I had my rain barrel, I had 8 55-gallon drums up there, is 3 feet higher than the top of the toilet tank in the one bathroom that we use 90% of the time. And I calculated water usage on that, and she was appalled. I'm like, yeah, I could literally run a pipe down and just cap the pipe off from the city water and just hook it to the barrels.
Oh, here, Danny said they get a $10 rebate if they tell the city they bought a rain barrel.
$10 rebate. What, one time?
One-time $10 rebate.
Yay, but now
Oh,
they're
is it?
watching you. You're also on the radar then.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you can save a lot of money. That is a frugal tip.
I
But
get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
believe
Can
me,
you
the
pay
last
for
city I lived in, I didn't want to give them a penny more than I had to.
So Diana, so you pay for rainwater runoff?
Oh yeah, there's other laws out there. If your roof size goes by roof size, and that water is running off into the street or wherever it's going, oh yeah, they charge you a tax on water runoff. It's ridiculous. I wonder if they charge that to these big
Yeah,
shopping
they
centers,
need, you know,
parking lots.
everybody needs in a jurisdiction like that, you need to get a ground roots thing going on to get that revoked.
Good luck
If
with
everybody starts screaming about it, the city council, whatever is going to do, they're going to say, hey, either you change it or we're going to call for a special election to kick your butts out. They'll change it, especially if the numbers are there. They'll change it in a heartbeat, and you will never ever reinstitute any sort of control tax over any type of rainwater, because a lot. And the thing is, what they're doing that is they're probably doing that, charging you for that, because they still need, they will quote, we need that water to flush the system clean.
Yeah.
But we're going to charge you for it to, you know, even though we're charging you in taxes,
Yeah, because it's not
taxes to maintain the storm drain, we're going to charge you more for the water as well. Yeah.
I think their theory behind it was the water that's hitting your roof and your driveway is not absorbing into that square footage of ground to refill the aquifers, which takes 100 years. But that's their logic behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, well, do you take that water that's been running off and put it in a holding pond and let it soak in there?
Yeah, well,
I can blow all their arguments out of the water.
Yeah, they don't care. They'll just shut your water off at your house and say you forgot.
Like I say, everybody needs to get the gang together and kick those elected officials out. Call for a special election unless they change it.
I think that's the fear factor these days. Is no one person wants to start a thing because they'll get singled out, and then the government overreach will come and overreach right into your house, and you'll have all kinds of problems that never existed, but they'll make some problems for you. And then
the first time they do that, you turn around, you file a lawsuit against the city or county for like $200 million to start with for harassment on it. There are legal firms that will jump on that, take that, and shove it down the city's throat.
Yep, and you'll still have no water to your house for 6 months because it was a clerical.
No, they won't.
You'll be moved out of your house before 6 months because you can't. The house will be condemned if you don't have water going.
You don't have running water. You're not allowed to live there.
They will have to. They will get an injunction, and they'll have to restore water. If they cut your water off, they'll have them turn that water back on in 24 hours. Yeah. You got to know how to
pay your bill, and you owe $2.8 million.
You got to use it.
Yeah. Whatever. We can go on back and forth all night on this one.
It makes you wonder if they do rainwater charges with the big malls.
Yeah, all the paved parking lots.
Yeah.
No, they get tax incentives. They get tax
waiver because they're generating revenue for the county.
Yeah. But all right, we're hitting the top of the hour here. Yeah, sometimes. You tell Mike. Sometimes lawyers are the answer to make cities go, "Oh crap, we stepped in it." All right, let's see here. So coming up here, get the right list up here. All right, Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound and Rebel Canners. Mark's not going to be screaming. He doesn't scream. I don't know. Anyways, the topic on Monday is going to be preserving citrus fruit. So we're going to talk about preserving citrus fruit.
Like my orange extract?
Yeah. Tuesday on Gray Man, back here on Gray Man Prepping. That was on Camp Patton Family Compound. So on Gray Man Prepping on Tuesday is creating a working budget. And we're going to go over, I'll bring up some free tools that are out there for you to use to create a budget. Thursday's the Midnight Ride. Friday on Camp Patton Family Compound is livestock babies. Something most new homesteaders don't think of first time out. All the extra care livestock babies are going to take.
But they're so cute.
Yep, they are cute. Oh, what is the baby cat peeing all over me? I just picked him up to pet him.
Picked him up? Boy, you're strong. Muscles.
Hey, all I know is that as teenagers, we picked the baby calves up, to get, to clean them off and stuff all the time.
We didn't pick them up. We just tipped them over.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Next Saturday, after the Constitution is revoked, what are your plans?
Okay.
And let's see.
I don't have a plan for that
last night, I was watching a movie about that called The Patriot with Mel Gibson. And
that is my favorite Heath Ledger movie.
Yeah.
Forget Mel. I like
Heath Ledger.
Huh?
A baby Heath Ledger.
A baby Heath Ledger. He was so sweet, though.
Yeah. All right, so that's what's coming up here for the next week. Are you going to try? Are you able to try during the week?
I don't know yet. This week is crazy. I'm trying to get ready, and I moved, and I'm trying to get unpacked, and I don't know. I'm sorry.
So what's
my Thursdays are not looking good.
So coming up here, let me change the month here on my calendar. So in one, that's 2. So in 2.5 weeks is the summit, isn't it?
Yeah.
In June? Yeah. So 2.5 weeks.
Yep.
So and so that's what that's on a Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday?
Thursday. Wednesday,
Thursday.
I'm getting there Tuesday and leaving Friday.
I'm getting there Monday and leaving Friday.
Are you at the campground, or are you in the?
I don't know yet. I got to find out where my accommodations are. They set me up with accommodations. I'll be at Courtney's on Monday, and then if she'll have me, and then Tuesday we should be at the area.
Yeah, I'm in one of the tent sites right near the main lodge, I guess. I don't know. They told me what number it is.
Okay.
That's pretty good because Monday the 16th is the 6 years of Camp Patton Family Compound.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, wow.
That's 35 years of me being married.
Well, I guess you will not be on. You'll be busy, and you won't be on my life.
You better do something nice for her while you're gone.
She's working. No, I'm not.
You still better do something nice.
Tuesday, our anniversary is Monday, but she's working. I'm like, okay, we'll do something.
You better.
And, all right, so that's what's coming up, folks. Prepper Girl 10 just came in.
No, all right. Happy. I'm going away for 4 days.
Yeah. Yeah. So those that didn't catch it, the staff sergeant left this morning at 5 o'clock Mountain Time. She arrived in California at, check my thing, get to the right one here.
Was it 14 hours?
She texted me at 5:25. So 12 hours. She goes home and unpacked.
Wow.
So she probably got there in just about 12 hours.
So she was flying low.
No, it's 80. It's 80 miles an hour. It's 80 miles an hour for most of the distance.
Oh, okay.
Posted 80 miles an hour, which means she was doing 84 because people were doing 87 and passing her.
Yeah.
See, we only can go up to 70, 70, 75 here. I don't know.
Yeah, we're
I never know
70.
the
We're
test.
70 out here.
I stay off the highway.
65 in most places still.
As soon as we get on I-15 over here, 80 miles an hour down to Pocatello. Oh, we're 65 for 2 miles to the city. Oh, 80 miles an hour till you get to Twin Falls. Then it's 65. And then going down from Twin Falls down to Nevada is 65. Once you hit Nevada, it's 75 down to till you hit 80. Then 80 is 80 miles an hour with a short 65 mile an hour stint in Elko.
Yeah, that's where all the cops are on the radar trap.
Then you're 80 miles an hour till you get to Fernley, Nevada, which is right near the border there with Reno. Then it goes on. It goes 80, 70, get closer to the border. 80, 75, 70, 65 till you get into California. And if you got 2 axles at 65 the rest of the way. Although once you're in California, for some reason, once you've gone 10 miles or 15 miles into the state, all the cars are doing 85 miles an hour again.
Yeah, well, that's because the cops
and the trucks are doing 70. Like, crap. And Howie's here for the wrap up.
Hey, Howie.
Came in for the last 10 seconds.
I was listening to you guys earlier when you were in Shadow Scouts. I just couldn't comment.
Yeah, I think your live feed was off by about 5 minutes because some of your comments came through. I'm like, yeah, we were talking about that like 5-10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I was not able to keep up when I was following, and then I realized that I had not updated to be back on the right speed because I was doing other things.
All right. All right. So they're already saying good night. Stay safe. So remember, stay happy no matter what life throws at you. Stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish. Keep adding to your preps: water, food, medicine, clothing. Learn a new skill every month and grow something. All right. See you all later.
Have a good night.
In string.